You know, the sweet pea, right? That gorgeous, fragrant flower that climbs up trellises all summer? Well, it turns out that behind those delicate petals is a secret history filled with monks, visionaries, and a shocking discovery that pretty much changed everything. Let's dive in.
I mean, just look at these. The modern sweet pea is a total masterpiece. We're talking about this incredible rainbow of colors, those elegant, ruffled petals, and of course that scent you'll never forget. But here's the thing. This perfection did not happen by accident. Oh no. It was designed, cultivated, and even stumbled upon over hundreds of years.
Oh, it absolutely does. This is so much more than just a pretty flower. Its story is packed with centuries of pure chance, serious dedication, and one wild discovery that turned the entire world of horticulture completely on its head.
Okay, so our story kicks off not in some fancy English garden, but right here on the sun-baked island of Sicily, more than 300 years ago. And believe me, the original flower was, well, it was far from a superstar.
This right here is the ancestor of every single sweet pea in the world, Laphyrus odoratus. And the first person to officially notice it was Francisco Cupani, a Sicilian monk who was also a botanist. He spotted this small, kinda unassuming wildflower and just knew it was something special.
So back in 1699, Cupani does something that would literally change garden history. He packs up these tiny little seeds and mails them off to his buddies in Northern Europe. He had no idea, but he had just kicked off a global obsession. The sweet pea was officially on its journey.
And you know, for a long time, the origin of the sweet pea was, believe it or not, a really contentious issue. People had theories that it came from Sri Lanka, Malta, even South America. But science has since confirmed those were all just red herrings. The one and only true home of the original sweet pea is Sicily.
All right, let's fast forward to the 19th century, where our little wildling is about to get a major glow-up. This is the era where one single determined breeder takes this humble flower and methodically turns it into a horticultural icon.
And this is the man who changed the game, Henry Eckford. See, before him, sweet pea breeding was pretty much just guesswork. But Eckford, he brought science to the garden. He wasn't just planting seeds, he was deliberately cross-pollinating, selecting for very specific traits, and meticulously engineering bigger, more colorful flowers, all while making sure to keep that amazing fragrance.
If you want to understand his impact, just think about this number, 115. That is how many new varieties Henry Eckford created all by himself. By the year 1900, he was responsible for almost half of all the sweet peas in existence. The man didn't just dominate the field, he basically created it. He set the standard for what a perfect sweet pea was supposed to look like.
So, let's recap. We've gone from a wild Sicilian flower in 1699 all the way to a full-blown sensation by 1900, so popular it even had its own dedicated society. But the biggest moment, the real turning point that would redefine the sweet pea forever, was about to happen in 1901.
And this, my friends, brings us to the climax of our story. We're at the very first show of the brand new National Sweet Pea Society. Rumors are flying around the hall about some unbelievable new flower. Then, just before the deadline, a gardener named Silas Cole puts his entry on the table, and it just stuns everyone. Now, to really get the shock of this moment, you have to see what a top-of-the-line sweet pea looked like back then. This is the grandiflora type, the standard that Eckford had perfected. It's beautiful, right? Elegant, fragrant, but look really close at the petals. They're smooth, they're simple. This was considered perfection.
Then came Cole's flower. A reporter at the show was struggling to even find the words for it, writing that it was so lavish its petals had to be closely pleated to hold it in position. He said it was beflowered and befrilled. And this is what they saw. This is Countess Spencer. The flowers were massive with these huge, wavy, frilled petals. It looked nothing like the smooth grandiflora standard everyone was used to. It was a complete accident, a spontaneous genetic mutation. And basically overnight, it became the new ideal. The age of the Spencer sweet pea had just begun.
And here's the craziest part, right? This wasn't the result of some long, deliberate breeding program. It was a total fluke. Silas Cole simply noticed one single plant in his rows of seedlings that just looked different. It took an incredibly keen eye to spot it and the foresight to save the seeds from its one and only pod. It was pure horticultural serendipity.
The arrival of the Spencer type wasn't an ending, it was a brand new beginning.
It totally unleashed this wave of creative energy among breeders all over the world, leading directly to the incredible diversity of sweet peas that we get to enjoy in our gardens today.
Yeah, this mutation opened up the floodgates. Breeders started taking the sweet pea in totally new directions. You got the classic tall climbers that are perfect for creating massive walls of color, but you also got these compact, dwarf varieties, bred specifically to be happy in a pot on your patio.
And the innovation has not stopped. I mean, today, breeders are creating tendril-free types that are way easier to manage, heat-tolerant varieties for warmer climates, and they're constantly pushing the boundaries of color and pattern. There's even a whole movement to bring back that intense original fragrance from that very first Sicilian wildling.
So the next time you bury your face in a bunch of sweet peas and just breathe in that scent, remember, you're not just smelling a flower, you're smelling a story. A story that started with a monk in Sicily, was perfected by a Victorian visionary, and was completely revolutionized by a lucky accident in an earl's garden.
But you know what? The story isn't over. For decades, breeders have been chasing a holy grail, a true, vibrant yellow sweet pea. It's something that's been genetically impossible until, maybe, now, with modern techniques that could finally change. Which just makes you wonder, what's the next revolution in this incredible flower's history going to look like?